Hi everyone, I'm Sherry Vegas, and in this video today I'm going to be going over my absolute essential must-haves for candle making. So I get asked a lot from all of you guys, especially if you are brand new into candle making, and what sort of equipment do you need. So I'm going to be going over all of the equipment that I use on a really regular basis to create my candles. So the first one is pretty obvious, and that is wax. Now there are so many different brands of wax out there and different types of waxes, and honestly it just comes down to the kind of candle that you want to make. So I would recommend first of all figuring out what your project is, and then buying a few different brands and testing them out and seeing which one you prefer, and also too, what is your sort of goal when you are making that candle. Is it just for decoration or is it for scent as well, because different types of waxes will hold scent better. So when you are picking your wax out, you first need to know what you're going to be using it for. Okay, so first up, other than wax, you're going to need jugs. So I've got metal jugs in different sizes. I've also got some plastic jugs as well, and I've got a lot of these. You'll find that you'll need more jugs than what you actually think you're going to need. And I've got enough of these metal jugs that I can have a jug for each type of wax that I use. So this one is for my soy pillar wax. I've got one for paraffin, one for beeswax, one for gel, one for normal soy container wax. And all I do in these big jugs is just melt my wax down. I don't ever add fragrance into these, so that way I don't have to constantly clean these. I can just add more of the same type of wax in. With my plastic jugs, it's generally what I make my candles in, where I add my color and my fragrance into these. These are not microwave safe, so if you are going to be using plastic jugs, just make sure you get ones that are microwave safe if you are planning on melting your wax in the microwave. But I always melt my wax on my stovetop, so I only use these really to add color and fragrance and mix the wax up. These are great because they're very easy to store, easy to keep clean, and they're very, very cheap. I think they're just from Kmart, but they are not microwave safe, so they cannot go in the microwave. But I generally just use them to mix color, add fragrance, and pour out because they've got a spout to them. When it does come to cleaning them, I will wipe them out with paper towel and then give them a bit of a spray with some alcohol just to take away the fragrance. If you are going to ever put any items that you use for candle making, they must stay for candle making. I could not now use this for food because it has had fragrance and colors and waxes and stuff in that. So just note that all your items that you use for candle making must stay as candle making, and do not put these in the dishwasher. If they've ever had fragrance in, even if you think you've cleaned them, the fragrance will still be there, especially if you're going to put a few jugs in the dishwasher, and it will actually then leave a funny taste on the dishes that you clean next. So you never want to put any of your candle supplies in the dishwasher unless you're going to do a good few runs through to get rid of that fragrance, because it will cling to the next batch that you put through in your dishwasher, and then you'll find that your knives and forks and your cups will taste a bit funny because of the fragrance that has managed to spread all through your dishwasher. Now, if you're going to be making a lot of candles, you might want to look into investing in getting a wax pot. They're really handy to get. I did have one and it was really great. I used it quite a lot for workshops, but it did break, so I have to buy a new one. But you generally can make probably, I'd say, double to triple the amount that you can make in just one of these pots, and a lot of them will have spouts where you can pour the wax out directly from the spout, which makes it even easier to use. So if you are going to be making a lot of candles, it is worth investing into one of those. But to start with, you can always just use these. They're pretty cheap. I think these are about like 10 bucks, and you can put them on your stovetop, double boil it, and melt your wax that way. If you are melting your wax this way and you're using metal pots, it is essential to get some of these. These are honestly so helpful, and they're going to stop you from burning your tabletop. So these are just from IKEA. They're like 3 heat pads. It's just cork, so you can get them from anywhere. But they are great that if you have a jug with hot wax in and you want to take it off the heat, you can put it straight onto here and you're not worried that you're going to burn your table or your surfaces. These are great for that, so I definitely recommend getting some of these just cork heat pads to put any of your hot jugs on. An absolute essential when making candles is obviously a scale. I've got a few different scales, and you want to try to get a pretty decent one that's going to be quite accurate. With candle making, everything is always measured by weight and not by volume, so you definitely need a scale to measure out your wax, your fragrance, and anything else. So a scale is going to be your best friend in ensuring that you get great quality candles. Depending on the type of candle you make, depends on the vessel that you're going to be pouring the wax into. You can use silicone molds, you can use metal molds, there's also plastic molds, and also if you're going to be making any container candles. So if you make a container candle, I generally recommend looking for containers that have nice, thick, solid base. The reason behind that is as the candle burns down, the base does get quite hot, and if you just are using a cheap, thin jar that you've bought from a cheap store or like Kmart or any of those places, generally the glass is really, really thin, and you might find that the heat will then transfer through the bottom and you can burn the top of your table. You can also have the glass break because of the heat, because it's so thin. So you definitely want to look for good quality glass jars that have decently thick bases, because that helps with your candles not having any safety issues. You also want to look for jars that are pretty much straight up. You don't want to go for any sort of funny shaped jars, because that's going to affect how your wick burns down, because you want to kind of have the wax pretty much even the whole way down to get an even melt pool and not to have the candle burn funny in different areas. So you wouldn't want to go for a jar like that went in and out like that, because it will burn the wax funny and it might be a fire issue. So if you're going to be doing container candles, you want to go for quality glass jars. If you're going to be making pillar candles, my two favorite options are either one, these metal ones, because they are super durable, they last a really long time, and they're quite easy to use. So it does come with a wick pin, and so it's just a metal vessel like that, and then you put this up through, and this is going to be the place for where your wick would go when you do take the wax out and you add your wick in. You also can do it with a silicone mold. So these silicone molds are made for candles, and they're quite soft, quite easily to bend, but they are still quite thick, so you can pour hot wax into them. Now when you do with silicone molds, you do add the wick in during the process of pouring the wax, so that way the wick sets into the wax. So those are a few different options. If you are going to be doing it like this, you will also need some blue tack, glue tack, whatever you call it. Just the stuff that you use to add posters to your wall. You grab a bit of your blue tack and you place it around the base, just like that, and then put your wick pin up, press that in, and that's just going to stop that little bit of a gap that you might have where that wax can pour out. The glue tack's going to cause that as a little bit of a block. And it's the same if you are going to be using these molds. When you do add your wick in, it comes out through here, and you can put a little bit of glue tack just to make sure that none of that hot wax pours out. It's also the same too if you're going to be using any plastic molds. So that's the next one on my list, is you definitely need some sort of glue tack, whatever you have, but you need some of this if you are going to be doing any sort of pillar candles. So now we're on to fragrance. Now there are all different brands that sell all different fragrances, but obviously you're going to want to look for fragrance that can be used for candle making and the purpose of burning. So I only buy from candle supply places because I know that it has been made for that purpose. And you definitely do not want to be using any sort of perfumes, because perfumes have a really high alcohol content, and obviously that's not going to be ideal placing that into a candle. So I have got synthetic fragrance here, and this one's just from Aussie Candle Supplies. I also like to buy from Candle Supplies Australia and Aroma. So this one is really great. I love synthetic fragrances because, one, there are just that many options out there for synthetic fragrances that you don't have in your more natural ones like your essential oils. So synthetic fragrances are really great. They're designed for the purpose of burning, making in candles, and the options are huge. They're also designed to be obviously smell great, have a really great scent through. Now you've also got the option of using essential oils. So the difference between the essential oils is, one, they're 100% natural. So if you do want to be making 100% natural candles, you want to be looking for essential oils. Essential oils also have aromatherapy benefits that you do not get from just your synthetic man-made fragrances. But you are also limited on the scent range with essential oils because they're always plant derivative. So you can't obviously get a chocolate essential oil or anything like along those lines, like a candy one, a bubblegum one, that you'll only be able to get in a synthetic one. So essential oils can be really good if you are after the natural and the aromatherapy benefits, but you just are limited on your range. And it can also only come from plants that have a decent oil content, because they basically either cold press or steam press that plant, and that's what creates those essential oils. They're also at a lot higher price point because it's a harder process to make them. It's super important to be constantly checking the temperature of your wax throughout the process of candle making. I really recommend getting one of these thermometers, just because you don't actually have to put it into the wax. So if you're making a few candles or a few different batches at once, you can quickly go and check without having to clean a traditional thermometer, the ones that go directly into the wax. So I'd recommend getting one of these. They're really good. This one also, I can set it to either Fahrenheit or Celsius, depending on where you are in the world. So really recommend getting yourself one of these thermometers. It's absolute essential when it comes to candle making. And also too, you want some wick stickers. So I like to use wick stickers. Some people use hot glue, some people don't use any at all. Wick stickers are great. They're just little sticky dots basically. They're double-sided, so one side is sticky and then you peel off that side and it's sticky as well, and it allows you to then adhere your wick into your container. Which brings me on to the next absolute essential item, and that is a wick. So there are multiple different types and brands that are out there, and it's just good to do a little bit of research. You might need to use a different type of wick depending on the wax that you are using, or you might need to double wick or go sizing up. So you've got your wicks, a lot of the time they're either paper or cotton, these ones in general, but you can also get your wood wicks as well, and it just comes down to personal preference. Some people really love the wood wicks because they crackle, some people don't, and you just want to add your wick sticker to the bottom and then just place it into your jar, just into the center, and it just holds it into place. So while you're pouring the wax, that doesn't end up floating up to the top. It just means that your wick is going to stay exactly where you want it with your wick stickers. If you are making your candles to sell, then you can buy some warning labels, and these are just to pop onto the bottom of your candles if you are going to be selling them. If you're just making them for yourself at home, then you don't need to get these. Generally, every candle supply place does sell warning labels. So now we're on to colouring candles. Now you don't obviously have to colour candles if you don't want to. A lot of the time, like soy waxes do set quite nice with that neutral base. But if you do want to colour your candles, there's honestly a few options. One of my favourite ways to colour my candle is by using a liquid concentrate. These are incredibly strong, and a drop or two goes a really, really long way. The only downside to them is that they do stain. So if you do get them on your clothes or anywhere else, they will stain because they are so strong. So if you are working with them, you can always put gloves on, because they are just, you're not getting it off if you get it on anything. Then you've also got your dye chips and dye waxes. These products are very similar. They obviously, if you put this onto your table, it's not going to stain unless it's been melted into the wax. So these are a great option if you do have an issue with getting your liquid concentrates everywhere and making a mess. They are also not as strong, so I find I do have to use a lot more of this compared to the amount that I use of my concentrate, but I also don't have the issue of it staining everything. And you can also use mica powders in your candles. You just want to make sure you look for a candle safe one. Generally, I don't use a lot of mica powders in my candles because I do find that they can clog the wick. And when your wax does set and cool, it doesn't look like the same color it did when it was in the wax when it was melted, so that's something to be cautious of. But you do see it again once the wax does start to melt it. It does add a really pretty shimmer and shine to it. You can also pair, you know, a liquid dye with some mica powder, so that way you can get a really bold color, but then as it melts you can get that shimmer coming through. But you just need to be more careful with the amount of mica powders that you add into your wax because it can affect the way that the wick burns. Coming up to our last few essential items is you want to have a wick clip or a wick spacer, whichever one you want to call it. There's a bunch of different types that you can get just depending on what you prefer, and these are basically just to hold your wicks into place while you are letting your wax set. So you'll find, especially with you cotton or your paper wicks, they obviously just flop around and they're not going to set evenly. So you can put them into a wick spacer or a wick divider and then just clip that into place, and that's going to hold it nice and straight and even while it is cooling and setting. You're also going to need a little wick cutter. These just make your life so much easier because it allows you to cut your wick to the correct shape, and because of the way it's designed, it lets you go into the jar and you can cut it however high or however low you want, nice and evenly. If you just were to use scissors, you're obviously capped at just the top of the jar. You can't really cut in with scissors, but with these guys you can just go along and cut all your wicks off so that way they are the correct height. Obviously stirrers, I've got a metal one here that I can just keep wiping the wax off and cleaning, or you can use paddle pop sticks and just chuck them out afterwards just to help mix through the colors and the fragrance when you do add that into the wax. I also have these metal skewers and they come in handy for a lot of different things, but in particular I like to use these to get the color out. With this one it doesn't have a dropper, and I don't want to just pour it into my candle because I'll find I'll have way too much color. So I generally go in here and grab a drop or two and then add that in to my wax. So if you don't have a dropper, these little metal skewers are really handy. And now my last absolute essential item for candle making is a heat gun. So this one I've just gotten from a hardware store and I think it was like $30 or $40. It has the ability to turn the heat on or off, and also has different settings for how strong you want it. This is really great if you ever have a surface that didn't come out quite even. You can just melt the top of your candle and that way you'll get a nice, clean, smooth surface instead of having to start all over again. So you'll find that your heat gun will just come in handy with doing a few bits like that. Sometimes you can get sinkholes, or you might have bumped your candle as it's setting and now you've got a ripple in your surface. Use your heat gun on a low heat, just melt that top layer of wax. But I hope this is really helpful for everyone out there that's brand new into candle making. If there are any other items that you guys love to use, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. It will be really helpful for me to see and try out some new candle making equipment, and for everyone else that watches this video. If you did like this video and you found it very helpful, or you have any questions or comments, always leave them down below. I'm always happy to answer them. Give this video a big thumbs up, it really helps me out. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe as I post new videos every single week. And I have a full playlist here of all different candle making videos. So thank you guys so much for watching.